All right, here we have. Today we'll learn about the ARK, the Aharon HaKodesh. Interestingly enough, in the Maimonides, it doesn't talk about how to build the ARK. It talks about how to the form of the Holy Temple and the whole form of the. Okay, let's just talk about the one reason is because the Jews didn't build the ARK. Moses made the ARK, and that's it. There was only one ARK. The ARK never changed. There was one ARK, and that was put in the tablets were there and the broken tablets. There's an argument if the Sefer Torah was put in there, the Torah that Moses wrote, if it was there or if it was not there. Some people say it was on a sort of a shelf that went out on the side. All right, let's yeah. Okay, as we said before, there's two different opinions. One is the Ramban says that this is the main feature of the Holy Temple. The main feature of the Holy Temple. And interestingly enough, the Maimonides does not list it as one of the vessels of the temple. One reason is because it's not the vessels, it's part of the temple itself. Without the ARK, there is no Holy Temple. That's the Holy Temple. That's the whole thing of that. So what happened on the second Holy Temple? Now there's also a lot of misinformation about this. A tremendous amount of misinformation about, especially because the Christians messed everything up and they misinterpret all sorts of incredible things. I mean, they have to somehow or other relate to this stuff, and they have to show that they're big experts, and they're not. So, I mean, there's some things which are very shockingly astounding. If we can see some of the pictures over here. Anyway, there's pictures of the ARK, which are just so, off base. But let's not go into that. Okay, here's not a bad picture of the ARK. See, this is on Yom Kippur. He went in to the ARK, and the stabs come from the narrow sides, right? And they pushed out a little bit into the holy, and there were two forms of faces of children, it says, like with wings on the top. That was called the kaporet. So let's just have a look over here. This picture we had over here from Chabad is pretty good. Now the ARK, where was the ARK? It was here. Here, it was here. It's a little bit of a question if it was pushed back a little bit or if it was right in the center. But suffice it to say that the ARK was 2.5 amas long. It was 2.5 amas long. And when you went in, the length of it, right, was facing you. And it was 2.5 amas long. The whole room was 10 amas big. And if you measured from one side to the wall, it was 5 amas, and one side to the wall was 5 amas. So it ended up that it didn't take any place. It says Eino Min Amida. Okay, how did it look? Here, it looked like this. The ARK, this is the ARK that Moses made, and that's the only ARK that there ever was the ARK that Moses made. It was really had 3 boxes. There was an inside box here that was gold. Then there was a middle box that was made of wood, atzei shitim. Then there was an outside box that was also made of gold. And the measurements, there's a little bit of an argument between them. What exactly it was 2.5 amas long, if these 2 amas were 5 hand breadths or if they were 6 hand breadths. Different opinions. According to the one that says they were 5 hand breadths, so there was room inside of it to put also the Sefer Torah that Moses wrote. If not, then there wasn't any room. So inside of the ARK was the broken tablets. That was the ones that Moses broke. They were on the bottom. And on top of them was the second tablets that Moses got. And on top of that was put a covering called the kaporet. The kaporet, it was made of a solid piece of gold, one solid piece of gold. And the angels, these faces of angels or children, whatever they're called, the keruvim, were pounded out from the piece of gold. You had to be a real expert to do it. It wasn't that you made the angels and you stuck them on or welded them on or something. And they were pounded out. It was a special thing. And it says that when God and the Jewish people God was pleased with the Jewish people that these angels were facing one another, and when not, the angels would not be facing one another. And surprisingly, when Nebuchadnezzar went into the Holy of Holies to destroy the temple, and he saw that the angels, their faces were not facing one another. I'm sorry, they were facing one another. The angels were facing one another. In other words, God was showing that he was destroying the temple because instead of destroying the Jewish people. And not only that, the fact of the matter is the physical temple was destroyed, but the spiritual temple was not. And the third temple is a physical place that's going to be brought down. And in the middle of that, the one Nebuchadnezzar destroyed, that's the Babylonians. That was the first temple. And between that and the third temple that Mashiach is going to build is the second temple. That was what was built in the time of Nehemiah and Ezra. And the first temple lasted for 410 years. The second temple lasted for 420 years. In any case, what happened to this ark? Now, where is the ark? So there's all sorts of movies made about it, and that the Romans have it, and the Greeks have it, and that the who else has it? Anyway, the fact is none of them have it. It's all a bluff and it's all a big lie. Who has it? It says that King Solomon, we're going to read that in a second. King Solomon, when he built the holy temple, he built the first temple, so he sensed that it was going to be destroyed. And he made a secret underground winding concealed passage that the ark could be taken down there and hidden. And that's what Yeshayahu, the king Yeshayahu, which was about 50 years before the first temple was destroyed, he ordered that the ark should be placed down in this hidden place. So the fact is the ark is there. It is in the place of the temple. And in fact, it's even more there. The whole rest of the temple was physically destroyed, and the ark was not physically destroyed. It's still there. So the movies that say differently and etc., it's very good, for science fiction or for whatever it is. But it's not so. They were there. And when they're revealed, it says that, he hid the ark down there, and he also hid with the ark, inside of the ark were the broken tablets, and he also hid the Sefer Torah that Moses wrote, whether it's inside, like, what is it, Rabbi, who says Rabbi Yehuda says, or outside, like Rabbi, like, what is it, Rabbi Yossi says. In any case, the Sefer Torah, and also there's two more things that are there. And what are they? That's the staff of Moses, the staff of Moses staff, and also a jar of the manna was there. They were always in the temple anyway, but they were in front of this rock that the things were there. So that's the ark. The ark was 2.5 amas wide. And when the high priest went into the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur, that's the only time you were allowed, this was what he saw. He was faced with this. The ark was placed on this big sort of stone, which was called Even HaShtiyah. It's supposed to be the stone from which the world was based, founded. And it was 1.5 amas deep and 1.5 amas tight. Again, an amma is about 1.5 feet, something like that. And on top of it, it had this prochetz. Okay, so let us look. It was built by Bezalel, with all the details that's it. When King Solomon constructed the first temple, he built an alcove, very nice, deep in the Temple Mount for concealing the ark. Toward the end of the first temple, King Yeshayahu, what was his name? That's what he's called, Josiah. Okay. He realized that the temple is going to be destroyed. I mean, even though there were no signs yet, but so he had the ark hidden there. And there it is today. When Mashiach comes and he rebuilds the third temple, it'll be brought back to the temple. The Evan was on this plane called the Even HaShtiyah, was called the foundation stone, the Shetiyat stone, which is the foundation point of the whole entire world. In the second temple, there was no ark, but the Shetiyat stone was there. And there's questions now if this big stone that's in in Al-Aqsa, because they built this mosque over there. So it's a big question if the stone is still there or it's not there, or it's the same place, a different place. There are different opinions. Okay, these are all the things that I just told you. Yeah, so this ark Moses took in the desert with him, and it came into the land of Israel. As here, when Joshua led the Jewish people into Israel, the Holy Land, after Moses died, so they camped alongside the Jordan River, and Joshua sent the ark toward the river. As soon as the feet of those people that carried the ark was not the ark, the Aaron. The ark was not allowed to be put into a wagon or anything. It had to be carried on the shoulders. It had to be carried. Of course, after it was put into the Holy Temple, it wasn't carried anymore, but the staves were still there. As soon as their feet went into the water of the Jordan River, the river split. The Jews crossed over. As soon as the Jews had gone over, when the Jews went over, so they brought the ark over, and the water started flowing again. When they came into the land of Israel, so this ark was in a place called Gilgal for a while, and then, and then that was for 14 years. Then it went to a place called Shiloh, and in Shiloh it was there for 369 years. But right near the end of it, the priests, there was, Pinchas and Chafni, the two sons of Eli, who Eli also was the last of the judges. He was after Samson. The priests mistreated the ark, and they took it out from the temple. Why? Because they were having a battle with the Philistine. So they took it out to protect them, which was against the wishes of Eli. And nevertheless, they got defeated. The Philistines defeated them, and they took the ark, and they brought it back to their lands. And when it was in their lands, it was terrible. It was everybody. There was plagues and afflictions. They had this big idol fell down. Everybody was afraid. They put the ark on a wagon with some oxes, and they just sent it. Sent it back, and finally came back until King David. He was already king. He took it and he brought it into what's called Ir David until Solomon built the temple, and then he brought the ark into the temple, and that's where it stayed. That's where the ark stayed. So what was in the ark? The tablets that Moses got on Mount Sinai, Holy of Holies. And it says that in the Holy of Holies, where the ark was the same revelation that was on Mount Sinai. The essence of God. It says that when God revealed himself on Mount Sinai, that all the Jewish people died, and God had to re-enliven them. It says with the dew that is going to liven the dead in the future. Pretty interesting. So that's the ark, the holy ark. Right? God willing, next time we'll learn about the laver. But this week we've succeeded with God's help in learning about the main vessels of the temple. We began by learning about the outer altar where they sacrificed all the animals, and we learned about the menorah and the face bread, they call it show bread, and the golden altar that we learned yesterday, and then we learned just now about the ark, which is in the Holy of Holies. Have a good day with Moshiach Now. God willing, tomorrow we'll also meet 8:15 in the morning, learning about God and the Jewish people. Have a good day with Moshiach Now.